make a quick video here. So I took this personality test from 16 personalities, uh, Briggs Meyer, I think it was called. I got, I can't say this, logician, so logic. I'm not real surprised. But there were some things in here that I was reading that really just kick it off. And so I thought I'd touch on some of these, um, specifically in the strengths and weaknesses and in the romantic relationships. So uh, this really speaks to me. Great analysis and abstract thinkers, people with this personality type, view the world as a big, complex machine and recognize that, as with any machine, all parts are interrelated. They excel in analyzing these connections, seeing how seemingly unrelated factors tie in with each other in ways that bewilder most other personality types. Imaginative and original. These connections are the product of an unrelenting imagination. Their ideas seem counterintuitive at a glance, may never ever see the light of day, but they will always prove remarkable innovations. They're open minded. We couldn't make the connections if I thought I knew everything. Now this is me. I don't think I know everything. I know I don't know everything. They are highly receptive to alternative theories so long as they're supported by logic and facts. That's a big thing for me. I will listen to almost any stance as long as it is actually supported by logic and facts, not straw men, not other crap, actual logic, real facts. In most subjective matters like social norms and traditions, logicians are usually fairly liberal with a none of my business sort of attitude. People's ideas are what matter. Very much, I'm not a big social norm person. Um, I'm very outside of the box on that. Enthusiastic when a new idea piques their interest. Logicians can be very enthusiastic. They are a reserved personality type, but if another person shares an interest, they can be downright excited about discussing it. More likely, though, the only outward evidence of this enthusiasm will be a silent pacing or staring into a distance. Now, this is a lot true, and there's some things with me. If it really piques my interest, I will listen to them, and then I will come into the conversation. Um, this is a good way, while I'm very reserved, uh, to get to know me or to talk to me. This right here for me is the big thing. Is that idea? Um, if I don't know anything about what you're talking about, then yes, the silent patient or staring into a distance while I listen to you and I'm processing what you're telling me and trying to figure it out. Objective, analyze, creative, and open mindedness aren't the tools of some quest for ideological or emotional validation. Rather, it's as though people with with this personality type are a conduit for the truth around them, so far as they can be expressed, and they are proud of this role as the theoretical moderator. This I read this as very true. I'm not real concerned with ideology or emotion. I don't care about how you feel. It's about the truth, and that really moves. But I can be emotional um, about certain things. Not about ideas, but everybody has feelings, and sometimes my feelings get hurt. To know one thing and say another would be terribly disingenuous. They don't go, we don't go around intentionally hurting feelings, but believe the truth is the most important factor, and they expect that to be appreciated and reciprocated. Again, I'm being honest, I'm being truthful, I'm usually being blunt in that way, and that does tend to hurt people's feelings. I don't do it to hurt people's feelings. I do it because that's the truth as I see it, and I do expect people to talk to me the same. that they would tell me the truth as they see it and not sugarcoat it or hide it behind um, emotional, oh, I love you type situations. Um, Weaknesses, very private and withdrawal. While intellectualism yields many insights into their surroundings are ironically considered an intrusion on their thoughts. This is especially true with people who are quite shy in social settings. More complicated situations such as party exacerbate this, and even close friends struggle to get into uh, your heart and your mind. Um, to me, yes, for all but maybe this last line. Uh, if I'm thinking about something or I'm reading a book, very much so surroundings, especially people, can be considered a huge intrusion. You wish they would just go away, which seems rude. I know it does, and I try not to act on that too much. Um, Parties, I do not like these. Um, I'm real weird about groups of people. I'm fine if it's a few. Family get-togethers about the many I can take. Anything more than that to a certain point is a hell no. And then you reach, okay, now there's so many people, it doesn't matter. Like Disney World, I don't have that kind of anxiety about people because there's so many people, they're not paying attention to me. They can't possibly be. There's just too much other stuff. But I do feel that a close friend or a significant other with time and getting to know me can get into my heart and mind, and that I'm very open with that. Insensitive, often we get so caught up in our logic, forget any kind of emotional consideration. They dismiss subjectivity as irrational and tradition as an attempt to bar much needed progress. Purely emotional situations are often utterly puzzling, and their lack of timely sympathy can be offended. Yes, while I do get emotional, I feel this way about myself when I get emotional, that it's irrational and I shouldn't be like that. And when other people get emotional, I have gotten better. I've learned over time to be better about being empathetic, but I'm still not great shakes at it. I don't always notice if somebody is emotionally upset or hurt, like I've hurt their feelings accidentally. I don't always notice. Absent-minded. When our interest is captured, their absence goes beyond social matters to include the rest of the physical world, becoming forgetful, missing the obvious if it's unrelated to what their current infatuation is. They can even forget their health, skipping meals and sleep as they move. Very much so. If I'm in the middle of whatever's caught me at that moment, the rest of the world doesn't exist. I will forget to eat. I will forget to get to drink. I will forget to go to the bathroom until it's go now or leave a puddle. I'll miss sleep. I'll get insomnia because I'm too wrapped. My brain's too wrapped. Descending, attempting to connect with others are often worse. Then for to withdraw, people with this personality type take pride in their knowledge and rationale and enjoy sharing their ideas, but in trying to explain how they got from A to B to Z, they can get very frustrated, sometimes simplifying things to the point that it's insulting as they struggle to gauge the conversation partner's perspective. The ultimate insult comes as us giving up with a dismissive, never mind. I am guilty so hard of this. I do this on an almost daily basis where I will say something and the person I'm talking to won't get it, and I'll try to explain and they're still not getting it, and it's just never mind. I can't. Okay, just skip it. And that's hard. It's not me trying to say that they're stupid by any stretch. Just what I'm saying is connecting with them, and it does seem condescending. And I'm aware, well, I'm not as aware of that as I maybe should be, but I'm guilty of this so bad. I loathe rules and guidelines. Oh, fuck the rules. Oops. See? These social struggles are partly a product of the desire to bypass the rules of social conduct and otherwise. While this attitude helps strength of unconventional creativity, it also causes them to reinvent the wheel constantly and shun the security in favor of autonomy in ways that can compromise both. Yes. Second guess themselves. This needs to be a bigger font and freaking high card, more bold because this is me. Aces for me. Remain so open to new information that they often never commit to a decision at all. This applies to their own skills as well. This personality know that as they practice, they improve, and any work they do right now is second best to what could be done later. Unable to settle for second best, we sometimes delay output indefinitely with revisions, sometimes even quitting before it's ever begun. Yes, so much yes. I do this with especially my writing big time. So the relationships also. When it comes to romantic relationships, logicians have an interesting mixture of traits that often pleasantly surprise their partners. People with this personality type are always full of ideas, but they have few opportunities to explore their more romantic notions. As with any of their theories, logicians love sharing with others, and in finally meeting someone where romantic thoughts are appropriate, they show themselves to be excited, enthusiastic, and even playful, flirting with wordplay and intellectual games. Yes, I flirt. I like being flirted with. I will often flirt with puns, and nerd things is a good way to get into that inner sanctum. And none of this is to say that these relationships come easy. They are shy and withdrawn individuals, and getting out and meeting new people, risking rejection, and making themselves the center of attention in an emotionally delicate situation are far from being their strengths. Amen to all of that. It is more likely that the logician personality will leave a trail of breadcrumbs for a potential partner, allowing them to make the first move and committing to their partner as an act of yeah, it's English. I have it. Reciprocation rather than bravado. Mary, a good wife makes happiness a bad one philosophy. From the start, logicians take their relationships seriously, their imagination and vision, and the challenge of getting to know new people, making them all too aware of how important it is that they're involved with someone, and they will prove themselves surprisingly loyal. Even early in the dating phase, logicians are unusually direct and honest, doing their best to express their mindset and create a mutual understanding, believing that this shared knowledge will help to minimize misunderstandings and avoid conflict. Yeah. The other bad part of this that they don't say is if you've gotten, I've gotten to know you enough, and I don't know, this might be a just me thing, and how my emotions are better, a little better than this makes it sound, is if I know you well enough and you've gotten into my inner circle enough that I consider you a significant other, or I'm considering you to be my significant other, where we're what would be classified early in a dating phase. Um, in a standard relationship, this is a place where you don't ever say the love word. You know, you don't say love, not in the first date, not in the first 5 dates. Usually, most people would say probably not within the first 10 to 20 dates. Um, if I feel that way, I will say it. And I have lost more than one relationship over it. Um, I don't I don't have time to wait. I want to know how people feel. I want people to know how I feel. And I don't want to play the game of, just because I feel that way still doesn't mean that there's going to be a relationship. I love my buddy. We don't have a relationship, but I still love him. Yes, it's a different kind of love, but still, and that kind of, romantic love can fade off into just friendship. I have two exes that I would never date again if you paid me money, but we're great friends and I still love them. That love has just changed from how it was when we dated. As the relationship progresses, our daily needs prove remarkably simple. Gifts, surprises, complex social plans, and date nights are fairly unimportant to people with this personality type. Um, yes, when you're talking like a physical gift or hey, let's go out, uh, depends on the surprise. Yeah, I don't need this. I much rather have stuff that's more practical, that's spending time with me, showing that you're thinking about me if we're not together, is much more important to me than a gift. So that's why I said it depends on the surprises because I'm very much um, pro middle of work text or quick phone call, hey baby, thinking of you, um, type situation. And that would be technically a surprise, but not what most people would think of as a surprise. Complex social plans, please no. Date night, yeah, let's go out and have some dinner somewhere, you know, somewhere sit down, kind of nice, not too fancy, not a lot of people, not a lot of noise. Okay, not often, also okay. But like a full blown, let's get dressed up, let's go somewhere fancy. Oh no, no, not no, I'll pass. This is also one of their chief weaknesses. Their partner may very much need these things, and it won't even occur to them to plan them out. For all their analysis and attempts at mutual understanding, they prove to be notoriously bad at picking up on others' emotional needs. While I do feel that I am bad at picking up others' emotional needs, if my partner has expressed that they like this kind of stuff, I do keep that in my mind. I am a big keeper of when I go to the store with my best friend, who is also my roommate, or my husband, and some other friends that are real close, like family to me. I pay attention when they put certain things and say, "Ooh, I like that," and I keep that, in the card file of my brain, so that if it's birthday or it's Christmas, I don't have to ask them, "Hey, what do you want?" I already have an idea of what I'm going to get them, and I have made a bunch of people cry by gifts I've gotten them simply by that act. Yeah, and that might fit into being logical you know because making them happy feeds to me, because then again, I don't know, maybe maybe I've grown a little bit. uh when conflicts over this do arise and are inescapable, I'll do my best to find a logical solution. Yes, I'm guilty of this. This hardly helps fix the problem if the problem is logic and our personalities aren't meeting their personal partner's emotional needs. Again, for me, if my logic isn't hitting your button, I understand that. Just let me know what you actually need. Please be definitive and succinct and actual plan of action. I need X or Y or Z. I need you to say you love me more. I need you to spend more time with me. I need you to leave me a love note every now and then. What do you need? Just tell me. I'll put it in the book of my brain. Trust me. It'll be okay. Um, and we should keep this in mind. Try and meet our partners halfway. Um, if we do this, our partners. Now that part with our partner, not that up, meh. Beware of a bareness of a busy life. All this material, a word I don't actually know. Wow, call Guinness. and conflict avoidance support one primary goal to free up mental resources for more important things. Logicians' creative, vivid imaginations make for a surprisingly enthusiastic, passionate, and romantic partner. And maybe that's what it is, because I am romantic. While logicians may prioritize their inner world too much, imagining interesting and exciting intimate situations that are never expressed to their partners, they also use this rich inner world to achieve as much as possible in intimacy they rarely want for ideas. This part here, yes, yes, very much. I think of interesting and exciting to me intimate situations and never say anything to my partner about them. Um, I use the inner world for more than just that. Physically, intellectually, and with a little more effort emotionally. Logicians' relationships are rich and rewarding connections. Partner who share the intuitive trait are usually best, along with one or two opposite traits that create variety and balance. But so long as logicians remember that they are with people that have their own independent want and needs, and so long as their partners remember the same, these are long lasting and satisfying relationships. And I'll agree with that. And I know that was a lot to read and a lot of information. That's my cat, sorry. Um, for me, right now, that's the big thing. I know there are people out there that are close to me in that way that watch my channel. And these are things, I do have trouble expressing or finding ways to say for myself of I find it hard to connect on that front. It doesn't mean I don't want it. I do find it hard to say, you know, hey baby, let's go in the room kind of situation. I don't know why that should be, but it's very much true. I feel like, and maybe it's because to an extent, I feel that way. If I'm in the middle of doing something, if we're having a conversation, or something else is going on, not all the time, but there are times. Like any other thing is an intrusion to that thought process. Romance and or sex is an intrusion to that thought process, even though it's very much wanted. So I feel I feel that way that it could be to me, given certain situations. I don't want to be that burden to someone else. So, like, an example from my day would be earlier, we were playing World of Warcraft together, and I stopped because I needed to do some stuff around the house, but he continued playing. And was interested, and I didn't say anything at first because he's doing something, he's concentrating, he's playing the game. I don't want to intrude. I don't want to bother. Because in that, reverse that situation, I'm playing and concentrating, and he's doing something else around the house. Even though I may want that type of intimacy, interrupting me right that second when I'm in the middle of doing something for any reason is annoying and bothersome. So I thought I'd just throw that out there. It was a really interesting personality test. Um, Go out there and take it yourself. I read the whole thing. Those two sections I just really wanted to point out. A lot of it spoke to me of how I feel, and just I also felt like, should make a video. It's been a while. All right. Well, thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys have a good night.